I know you're probably more than familiar with Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. This is when everything that is wrong with society is attributed somehow to Donald Trump. You name it. If it's wrong, if it's problematic, it's Trump. That's the way people think. And I know this. And I know how it works and I know how it goes. But there's something else which is bothering me. It's called Soros derangement syndrome. Now, I'm not here to defend George Soros. I'm not. Believe me, God forbid. But he has become the lightning rod for everything. He is the manifestation of all known evil. And I'm thinking, take it easy. Let's review this. Let me review a few things. But first, let me remind you, as I have to do, please like the video, subscribe to this channel, and please, more importantly, well, almost as important, make sure you hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And I want to talk to you about something which is a weird form of derangement. Derangement caused from the inability to sleep. And what better way to help sleep than having the best pillows and the best blankets and the best duvets and the best slippers. And where to go? Where? Our sponsor, mypillow.com/ or promo code Lionel. Don't use any other promo code but Lionel. They are simply the best. If you haven't heard of MyPillow, you've been living on Mars or perhaps have been in a coma, and I say to you, welcome back. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Go there and avail yourself of all of the most incredible equipment that you need, the kit you need to sleep and to luxuriate as you so deserve. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Now, a couple of things here. I've been doing this for a long time. You may not know this. You may look at me and say, hey, that young, spry character. Well, looks are deceiving. I have been through every manifestation of crazed scrums that you can imagine. Everybody. And it was just the military-industrial complex. Bilderberg, DARPA, HARP, just name it. Once somebody gets in on something, ooh, they like that. Bilderberg is important, but not always the answer for everything. The Bank of International Settlements in Basel, remember that? Central banks, Jekyll Island. You see things, and they become shibboleths, and they become patellar reflexes, and they become, again, a shibboleth, a kind of a code word that we use to let you know, hey, look, I'm in on this. I'm a part of this. I'm a member of the club. Well, it went from those to George Soros. Now, again, I'm not here to defend George Soros. Let me also say, and this may come as a shock to you, but George Soros is able and legally allowed, I know this may come as a shock, to promote and to advance and to fund plans and programs and platforms and movements that you may think are inextricably insane and that are just demented and un-American and unpatriotic, and that's up to you. Certainly, you've heard what he has done by basically promoting and being a part of promoting district attorneys and state attorneys and prosecutors all over the country who basically want to avail the world and to provide you with this nonsense called critical legal studies and restorative justice, and basically letting criminals and demented people go. He seems to like this. He wants to promote these prosecutors. Everybody from Alvin Bragg to, and he, of course, he says, I don't know who Alvin Bragg is. I don't know. Well, okay, maybe your Open Society, maybe some organization that you perhaps have been a part of. Either way, he can do that. It's not illegal. It might be nuts, but it's not illegal. Let me just remind you. Sometimes there are people who we get all, wrapped up in this, like, Dylan Mulvaney, don't you understand? It's not illegal to promote, to want to single-handedly destroy Anheuser-Busch. It's not against the law. It's demented, but it's not against the law. So when it comes to Soros, and also his Open Society being a part of this thing which promotes the human rights campaign and this corporate equity index and all of this stuff. So yes, he is the spearhead. He is the vanguard. He is the pole star. He is the bellwether. He is the guiding force, if you will, in this movement that is, okay. Let's stop for a second. Stop. And let me remind you of something. Don't become so demented yourself. I'm using that word demented a lot. Don't become so preoccupied with Soros that you lose sight of the complexity of the world. For a while recently was Klaus Schwab. And Klaus Schwab, the one who talks like this. In fact, there's a certain, dare I say, and not be xenophobic, but there's a certain accented similarity here on some of these people who like to talk about severe, okay. That notwithstanding, I can't say it enough. It is not against the law to be George Soros. It is not against the law to provide funding and support for organizations that you think are wrong or un-American or whatever it is. I'm just telling you, that notwithstanding. But don't lose your mind in putting everything on Soros. Let me explain to you something. The multiplicity of factors that are happening in the world, in this, I'm going to go right now, of course, for my favorite prop. This is my Dollar Tree globe. I love this thing. And it just reminds me, this complex little blue ball, this speck that floats in the firmament, in the ether, whatever you want to call it. This is filled with many people. And I'm going to tell you something that I believe in. Number one, the people who control the world, the people who are more involved in factors, in movements, in vectors of change and the like, you have never heard of. Let me just remind you. You have never heard of them. They're from think tanks and university groups and academic. They're from families. They have money. Some don't. They have power. Intellectual movements. Remember, critical legal studies, critical race theories, the crits, restorative justice. A lot of this, these ideas are 50 years old. They were born out of academia, but they never really went anywhere. Now, who was responsible? Is that George Soros? No. There are other groups. There's the Bilderberg group, which is another. I've been talking about this since not me talking about it since 1954. I was born in 58. But the point is, they've been around and people for years said this is a conspiracy theory. There's the Mont Pelerin Society. This is the Mises and Hayek and the Milton Friedman libertarian economics group. There's think tanks and people and Klaus Schwab and World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization and the UN and the Trilateral Commission and the Council of Foreign Relations and go through it and still remnants of the Club of Rome, and it goes back. And then we have intel groups and subgroups within intel groups, and then we have composites and groups within this thing called the shadow government. We have factions, we have directories, subdirectories, portions, individuals. We have people all over the world, contextualized, compartmentalized, pixelated into this beautiful little mosaic. This mosaic, this myriad, this cornucopia of little organizations and people that collectively are responsible for the momentum of what's happening to the destruction and the complete and total collapse and free fall of our society. And George Soros is a part of this. And he takes all the heat. He draws all the attention. He's the magnet because in many people's minds, he is the embodiment. He is the collective source of everything. Before we heard of Soros, it was Kissinger. Now he's 100. Then it was Rockefeller, and then Rothschild, and Bill Gates now. Bill Gates is second. Bill Gates is responsible from everything from depopulating this Malthusian nanotechnology and genetic Bill Gates is the... Okay? So, while it's important to recognize their impact, while it's important to recognize his critical role in the world, do not lose your mind and pin everything on George Soros. I'm not in any way limiting his control, but I'm also telling you that, believe it or not, in a free society, in an open society, you have the right to become affiliated with belief systems and vectors and ideologies and ideations that you might consider to be lunatic. Lunatic and lunacy combined. It's a portmanteau, a neologism, in any event. That's all I'm saying. Put your anger in perspective and count how many times you blame Soros for everything. Again, I'm not in any way trying to exculpate him or disgorge him rather, from any kind of attribution as to blame or attribution of the like. But what I'm trying to tell you is perspective. That's all. Okay, thank you. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified of new streams, new live streams, and new videos. And don't forget our sponsor, MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, get a free gift. And now I beg you, I importune, I ask, I request most respectfully that you comment as you see fit.